Thanks again. Welcome back to the Watsy Subbuteo show with myself, Watsy, and Martin O'Bradley. We're back in the shed. Back where it all began.
Back in the shed.
Do you know who the first guest was when we done the shed? Oisin Q.
Oisin Q.
Who's hot and who's not?
Remember him?
Remember him? He ditched us like a fucking head of shite.
He's behind the paywall.
He's there now. He's up with Keith Littler. Pay to see him. This week our show is sponsored by, is it Hovis?
Yes.
Hovis. So the winner of the fancy football gets a bread hamper. I'm leading at the minute.
You have to be local. So unfortunately, there will be no bread getting posted to Canada. Or fucking where was it last time?
Papua New Guinea.
Big
Topic this week. Trailblazers. You were on the show. How did you enjoy it? What a production.
What can you expect? I'm a trailblazer.
What a production. The editing.
You're going to get called out.
Top notch. I've been called.
There's a lot of, you know yourself, there's a lot of work goes into these things.
Oh, I know.
And it's not easy.
I like the bit where you transfer from the shed to the house and talking to Katrina along the way.
It is.
Oh, watch them UFOs, boys. We'll not talk too much about Trailblazers because he's a nice guy. We're going to go over, talking to nice guys, we're going to go over and see what Barry Sez has to say, and Barry Sez.
You won't see my face this week, you'll be glad to hear, but Lawrence had asked me to just look at corners and how to defend from corners. Now again, similar to last week, not sure if I'm totally qualified about this. These change with every corner, with every match, every opponent and stuff like that. So, but I suppose the fundamentals are pretty much the same. If you can get your defensive line right for every corner. I think a couple of weeks ago I'd mentioned about trying not to use your defensive players, your defensive back 6 or 7 for normal flicks, but to go around the table. Similar situation. If you can keep your back line and you lose a corner, and then a lot of your players don't need to move very far. So in this situation, you can see I've got 5 or 6 players already in defensive positions and don't need to defend that or don't need to flick that far. So for me, what you're trying to do, you're trying to flick the guys into here to stop them getting a flick. Now, obviously, it's not going to be perfect because you're going to get players who will hit the ball on the move and so on. But ideally, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to avoid them to get a touch from the ball as much as possible.
Thank you, Barry. Good man. Just before we go to fantasy football, a lot of transfers happening. We're not going to have any fixtures this week because it's a special show, special guest. But there's no results. But a lot of transfers happening. Kane Matthews, new club. He's more clubs than Tiger Woods.
Where's he now? Yorkshire Phoenix? I thought you were talking about that fantasy football.
No.
I tend to think
the transfer.
I've changed my team.
No, fuck, we're not talking about fancy football yet. But the transfers are all happening. Ruby's left.
Football. Ruby.
Remember he used to be part of her?
Remember Ruby. We give her a break back.
Nah, we made her famous. Big time. Right, let's go over and see what's happening in fantasy football. Bradley, I was going to start at the bottom, but I'm going to start at the top and build up to it. Last month's monthly prize winner was Chris McManus, and he won 3 top spin balls for the most points of this August. Well done, Chris.
He's a Subbuteo or a normal?
No, he's just a friend of mine. So, don't know what he's going to do with the balls. Maybe donate them to somebody. But once they come, we'll sort that out. This month, obviously, sponsored by Hovis, so the winner is going to get a bread pack.
Local.
Top of the pile is Thomas Regan, 277 points. Gage Badger's up his arse on 272. Thomas O'Flatley, nothing to do with Mike O'Flatley. 271. Chris McManus has slipped to 267 in 4th. Frank Tanks in 5th. He shits the bed all the time. 263 points.
Got in the first week.
Dave Merrilees, 9th.
Oh, Dave back?
Aye, Dave's back. Owen Adams, stiff little fingers. That's his name. It's a good name.
That's a good name.
I wonder if he has stiff little fingers, young Owen. I wouldn't want to find out anyway. Up his arse, not literally, but Simon Stewart. A point in it between them two. 243 and 244 points between them.
Are they like top 10?
14th and 15th.
Okay.
Big G, who's donating a pitch next month.
Lovely.
He's already sent the proof through.
Lovely.
So he has. Move on a bit. Fuck's sake. Production team are telling you to move in. Big G's on 20th. 36 points. The battle of the Finley of the Skinners.
Okay.
Finley's in top. Arn is 27th. Finley's 23rd. The battle of the Jude de Bellefontaines.
My theory holds true.
The father is below Elliot. Elliot's in 200. Where's Elliot? 223. Martin's in 211.
Martin's good as a bit of
David Save Hunter's 43.
Mm-hmm. Well done, Dave.
I'm 45th. Same. Our Barry Spence is 58th. Third from bottom. Third from
Hold on a
bottom.
fucking minute. I'm not bottom.
You're second.
I'm
from
not
bottom.
second fucking
You're
bottom.
second
I'm not
from
second fucking bottom. I can look at it on my phone. Fuck off.
You're
I can look at it on my phone. I'm like in the middle. I was above you for fucking 2 weeks. Fuck off. I know.
Anyway, you're second bottom.
I know.
This is going to be an interesting. I like to be proved right.
Second bottom. My arse is second bottom. Fucking check this.
When did you last check it? What were you drinking?
Alright. When did that happen? I was up the fucking middle. Like last week.
I don't know. It's quite simple. It's quite simple.
The boys leave. Was there more boys in it?
No, 60 people. You're 59th.
Robert fucking Ramsey.
59th. Robert Ramsey.
Robert fucking Ramsey. I played that in Wolverhampton.
Well, you're fucking above him. That's about it.
It was a draw, and it should have been.
Your
I
theory's
should have
right.
won.
Your theory's right there. Right. You going to introduce our guest?
No. Fuck,
He's
fuck
travelled all
that.
this way
Fuck
to
that.
be in the shed.
No. Fuck that.
Won't put your phone away and stop puffing now.
I was adamant I was in the middle. I thought you were going to drop something because I changed my team, put more boys in the middle.
Sorry.
Alright.
Well, we've done a special show for a special friend that's came over all this way. He's currently writing a book. He's wanting to feature us for some fucking reason.
He's writing a book about me.
He's writing a book about how bad you are at fantasy football. He's came all this way, and we're going to introduce him to the shed, the world. He's been on the show before. Do you want to give him this wee introduction? Please?
Ladies and gentlemen, Starbrig casual star, the one and only Mr. Finger Flicking Good, Derek Ayre.
Welcome, Derek! Welcome, Derek! Welcome to the show. All this way.
Thanks for having me. It's great.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show. You've came all the way from Dewsbury.
Dudley.
Dudley.
Thank you.
That sounded like true.
The People's Republic of Dudley in the West Midlands.
Fair play to you for coming all this way. So obviously there's a reason that you're here in the shed, the home of Subbuteo
Yes.
in Derry. You're writing a book. 2
I
books.
am indeed. 2 books, yeah. One, I'm really writing one book and just writing a little bit and adding it to pictures for the second book.
So the last time we had you on the show, was for the podcast. You've
That's
actually
right.
been on twice, haven't you?
3
You were on
times.
for the podcast and then you were on with Simon.
Yeah, I've been on 3 times.
And
Yeah.
then Christmas special, obviously. We don't count Christmas specials, is it?
Oh, he doesn't count Christmas.
We don't count
Doesn't
as a-
count as a
But this is your hat trick.
It is.
You get a hat trick
I
ball.
got a hat trick, yeah.
You get a hat trick ball. Do you want to tell us a wee bit about the book?
Yeah, it's...
Are you
well,
allowed to tell anyone about the book?
I am allowed. It's not embargoed. It's called Land of the Giants, My Journey Through the World of Table Football.
Oh, very good.
I like that.
And it's not just about Subbuteo because the publishers would like it to appeal to a wider audience. It's a mixture of everything. It's a bit of travelogue, a bit of memoir, a bit of sport. Wherever I go, I talk about the football teams mainly in that city
Okay.
and things like that. So Derry City will get a mention here, but also the wider cultural thing about each place I go.
You might have to get a bit of institute in. They're on the other side of the water. They're an our Derry team.
Oh, are they?
They play at the Brandywell, so if you want to investigate, no, I'm joking, don't be. Keep it there. keep it pure there.
No.
You have to be cross community.
No. You're allowed to support institute as well.
Oh, right, okay. You're right. Martin. If Martin said it's okay, sorry.
So that's the main book I'm writing. That's the one that I want a lot of words for. And the other one is a coffee table book, which the publishers chose the title Subbuteo Close Up. No, sorry, yeah, Subbuteo Close Up: The Beauty of Table Football. And it's essentially going to be photographs of people's stadium builds, collections, rarities, team painting.
Very
Just
good.
everything.
Brilliant.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. And when are you going to be out?
Well, I've got to get Land of the Giants written by 31st of March because they'd like it to be published in time for the World Cup next year. So they're looking at 31st of August, presumably, because they need about 5 months,
Right.
6 months to get it into publication. And then the coffee table book, Christmas time, looking for the Christmas market. A bit like Michael Bublé releasing an album.
Get the money in, get the Christmas money
Yeah.
in. Is the coffee table book hardback?
They're both going to be hardback.
Are they?
Yeah, both going to be hardback. The Land of the Giants will include colour plates in the centre, but the coffee table book's a larger format book. Pitch have a big seller called The World's Greatest Football Grounds, and it's basically photographs of, what some of the most iconic football
Right.
stadiums, and they want me to model it along that format.
Very good. You should. I know you're going home tomorrow, but you should have went to Giants Causeway and took a Subbuteo pitch up and took photos of the Giants Causeway, land of the Giants.
Well, I have taken a picture, Land of the Giants. I've taken a picture of a Subbuteo player atop one of the cannons on the city walls, overlooking the bogside, and that's going to be an iconic shot for the
Is
colour
it your
plates.
only team that you brought with?
Yes, it's Matalan United. Yes.
Matalan United, nothing to do with the superstore.
No, yes, it is because I bought the top in Matalan.
So it is connected to the shop.
It is connected to the shop, yeah.
Yeah.
Or as we know it, we give it its designer name, Matt Alain.
Lovely.
You know, a bit like
Found in the
René
Paris.
Lacoste.
Found in all the shops in Paris and
Yes,
stuff and all
of
that.
course.
But, definitely. What about so we obviously you've came here to us. We appreciate you coming over. It's fantastic. I think he brought his wine.
Yeah.
Brought his
Beautiful.
fancy wine. Marlborough, as you were telling the Trailblazer about the Marlborough white wine. It's a fancy.
But you know you're worth it.
Trailblazers only drink.
You're worth it.
You know what I mean? So we'll get this cracked open. Oyster Bay.
Lovely. New Zealand.
Once the camera goes over, we're getting pished.
Right.
Well, we're getting pished anyway. But sure, we may as well get more pished. So you've been to other places. Obviously, you've met other people. You want to tell us about some of the places you've been? And
Yeah, well, actually, first of all, I did 3 remote interviews. One with Barry Tomlinson, who edited Roy the Rovers in the 70s.
he sent us
and-
praises before.
Yeah, and he
Official.
created the Mike's Mini Men, which is one of my favourite stories
Yeah.
of Roy the Rovers in the 70s, which is all about Subbuteo.
Subbuteo.
And he talked about the connections that he had with the company for prizes and things like that in the 70s and 80s. Then I interviewed Daniel Tatarski, who has written really, I would say, the seminal book
Yeah,
on Subbuteo, Flick to Kick.
yeah.
It's out of print at the moment, and whenever you go to a collector's fair, there's always copies knocking about, but you pay pretty good money for them
What
now.
are you talking?
And he still plays actually. He still plays Subbuteo in Cornwall. There's no club near him. He played in London at a club, Fulham, I think. Fulham have got a team. I think he played there for years, but now he's moved to Cornwall. He's finding it hard to play. But whenever he gets guests and visitors, he gets a table out and they all play. They're all forced to play.
But there was a competition in Cornwall a couple of weeks ago, wasn't
There was.
maybe
Jason Christer got blew off.
I must get in touch with him and see if Daniel went. Because he wrote that book, and it's if you get a hold of it, it's a brilliant read all about the history of the game, and also the modern game gets mentioned as well. But so I interviewed him really to see if he changed his view that he thought when he wrote the book he felt that Hasbro were going to, it was in good hands, and I asked him if he was writing the book now, would you still hold that view? And well, I'm not going to spoil it for you because you have to read the book to find out
We'll
what he
find out
said.
at Christmas next year.
And other people I've interviewed. I interviewed the son of Charles Staddon, who created the iconic heavyweight figure. He's an interesting bloke. Yeah, and his dad's backstory, which very few people know about, his war service and everything is quite remarkable. A bit of a boy's own adventure. And then on the more modern Subbuteo side, I've been to visit Paul Darks, Subbuteo Pride, great collector. I believe he's donated prizes.
He donated a prize that went to John Henson's son. Remember, we give the Subbuteo set away to somebody.
Oh.
Tell us why you should win it.
Oh,
and then they
tell us
give
your
it.
story.
He was 10 or something.
Yeah.
That was
Is that
a
John
couple of years
Henson's
ago.
son?
Yeah, that's where he got involved then.
Very good.
He wrote a letter saying his dad wouldn't let him play with his Subbuteo set.
Oh, that's right.
So he says, alright, you have to give him a Subbuteo set because his fucking John Henson wouldn't let him play.
And then more recently, I visited Pete Whitehead, who owns Subbuteo World.
Aye, you were telling us about
yeah.
this nice pad he has.
It is, yeah. And then I've got up and coming interviews with a couple of other collectors, Ross Makovich, known as Subbuteo Brummy,
aye.
him. And I'm hoping to get Callum Westwood and his dad on the same on this.
Surprise!
Whatever happened there?
Where is he?
Well, no, he's still there, but he's got a new job as a personal trainer, which takes up a lot of time. So
Fat boy.
he's
Good looking boy.
hopefully.
Good looking boy. Handsome.
Yeah,
He's one of
yeah.
the most handsome
I
Subbuteos
must
there.
admit, even my wife agrees.
One off.
Unfortunately.
One off.
Jesus, you always are always that handsome.
He's a handsome fella and he plays Subbuteo.
I don't
And
know, he
so-
doesn't play it.
He does
Does
play,
he?
but he plays old
plays
school,
old
old rules.
Oh, aye,
And
that's right.
he's hoping to get his dad in the same room so I can do an interview with them, because they were both very active in the Subbuteo Collectors Club and Subbuteo Collectors Fairs in the sort of late 90s, early 90s, and did their best to keep it alive, you know, and keep it in people's radar.
Any solo players coming up?
Yes, there will be some solo players. I can't remember offhand who it is I've arranged to speak to, but I will also be speaking to. I'm going down to have a night with Jason Christopher and
lovely.
Solent Boys, Club Night at Solent.
#1 club.
In the
Yeah.
world.
And last Whisper Rankings, Jason was number one
Number
as well.
one.
Oh, he's our player.
Derry
Isn't
City
he?
player.
Derry City superstar.
Yes,
Jason
yes,
Change
Christopher.
his
yes.
life. Same to us. Change his life.
#1 in the world in
Yes,
Westman.
Bank manager.
And
Number one in the
I'm-
world.
I'm hoping to
Succeeding
go,
in everything. But on that candy striped top, straight to the moon.
and I'm still hoping to go over and see your friend and ours, Simon Stewart in Hamburg, and Fred Ellisville, and have a night at St. Pauli.
Lovely.
So I want
Let's
to
do that.
I want to get different clubs and different perspectives from the game being played beyond these shores.
Yeah. So you're writing the book about Subbuteo, obviously, but you're going to include like the back history of.
Oh yeah, and the cultural importance of it. I mean, I've even got Martin O's uncle signed up.
Mickey Bradley.
Yeah.
Undertone.
Yeah,
Michael Grande.
he's
Michael.
going to give me
How did it go,
an
Mickey?
interview.
Right.
I met him at the Let's Rock Shrewsbury. Extremely nice man, and I am possibly thinking maybe he would write a foreword if I was to get him in advance.
He is
Copy.
he is a published author.
Yeah, I know that. Yes, my life is an undertone.
I didn't know there was such a book. I'm going to have to get it.
Can't believe that.
I think
You know
sales
how
for
much
that book.
per copy?
I think sales for that book will go through the roof after this show,
Mhm.
because people will say, "Oh, I remember them. I need to get a hold of that book." you know.
Well, everybody that's connected to Subbuteo is connected to the Undertones, right?
What do you mean?
Well, if you like the Subbuteo, you like the Undertones. It's sort of they
Seems
go
to be the
hand
way.
in hand. Eh?
Seems to be the way.
The one elusive interview that I'm struggling for is to get an interview with Nigel Blackwell, half man, half biscuit. He's not
Oh.
on social media, but
You've no
Stephen,
chance.
That's
but
the same.
Stephen Hurrell has got a connection. A former editor might be able to pass that on.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm just going to stalk him on the 6th of October when I go to see Half Man, Half Biscuit in
Stalk him.
Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
Just going to hang around and say, right.
Fucking hell, it's Fred Titmus. You still love it.
Find out where
Yeah.
they're staying.
I mean, they are some of the. They've got some of the cleverest album titles and stuff. I mean, Trouble Over Bridgewater. That's a classic.
What's the fucking hell is Fred Titmus from? It's a green cover.
Yeah, and of course the what's their name?
Back in the,
The
DH
Camel
back in
Lairs.
the DHSS.
Yeah, the Camel Laird Social Club.
Back in
Yeah,
the DHSS.
back in the
I think it's
DHS.
pink cover. Is that pink
Yeah.
cover?
This is
Pink
where
red cover?
this is where it turns into the music show, which I always try.
Four
to
Lads That
promote.
Shook the World. Another great classic album.
Great band.
Can we talk about Bruce Springsteen? No, I'm on
Yeah. So I'm hoping to maybe get an interview. And apparently he's a massive Undertones fan. So maybe the fact that
They might know them. I'll say to Michael. We're going up a road.
Michael might have
Wednesday.
a connection
He'll
for
have
you.
a
Do you know what I
connection
mean?
there.
You could try it.
I'll ask him if he knows.
But I think he's a bit of a hermit. You know, he
Weirdo.
doesn't give a lot. I don't think he's a.
I don't think he's going to watch this
No.
show.
Not watching this.
But I don't
You
think.
never know. You fucking never know.
But I think you know.
There are
You
271
don't.
people there. You don't know who they all are.
But I think what he does is he's a bit careful about when he speaks to, in case he gets quoted out of context. But that's why I've got my digital recorder. I like to have a documented thing so people aren't quoted out of context
Right.
and they can go back and check.
As long as you don't edit them so that they sound like a shay bag.
No, I
Or they
don't
work
do
in a shay
that.
bag.
No.
I don't want to step away from the book because the book is the reason why you're here. But I want to go back to the podcast because we haven't. The last time we spoke to you, it was just finishing and tailing off.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was a massive success. Everybody loved it. Have you any thoughts of redoing podcasts or?
I have actually,
Any ideas?
but it depends really on people like you cooperating. What I'd like to do is take the personalities that I spoke to, and you don't get much huger than you two, on the show, but actually get behind the Subbuteo about the person, because I'm sure people want to know what you're like as people. You know, what music you like, what your favourite book is. You know, what football team you follow. You know, interesting stories like that, like, you know, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
People in the community, but not necessarily talking about Subbuteo. The provisional title was Finger Flicking Good meets meets Lawrence Watson meets Martin O'Bradley.
A bit like our Friday friend that we used to have, and then fucking big fucking Jerry Harrington stole it.
Oh, did he?
Nice name English coming over here. Stealing on
the us. That's how ESA. He's from the ESA Kool-Aid, as you say.
Yes,
so he's
that's a popular drink at the moment. Apparently, it's on draft in the southeast of England.
Well, there's a lot of people. There's
available on draft.
They're bigger than the FA.
They are. Men in blazers. 25mm men in blazers.
They're churning out there. If there was paid jobs, it'd be skimp. There's not many people getting jobs. Ever you? ASA?
Imagine supplying blazers for all of them.
Did you get a job?
Have I got the call up?
We haven't got. There's no Irish connection in the apart from Big G.
I mean, he can't be in the ASA because he's Irish.
Fuck him out.
Of course you can. You can have foreign managers in charge of your country. You can have administrators that are from foreign
You
countries.
can't
Of
have
course you
foreign
can.
managers in charge of your association, surely.
And the beer assistant has just showed up.
Glamorous.
Is that there,
Hang on, foreign managers in charge of your boat.
Cup of tea for him.
Fabio Capello, Sven-Goran Eriksson. They both managed England.
Yeah, but not like in Subbuteo. That's
No.
nonsense field soccer. That's not. You know what I mean?
But-
We're talking serious business here.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot that Subbuteo came first. Then association football.
What about so obviously you've been playing. You played the last year or so. You've been playing, going down to Wolverhampton. Well, you were going to
I was
Wolverhampton.
going
Now
to
you're with
Wolverhampton.
the casuals.
Yeah. I think I'm. You see, people. In fact, I was talking to Stephen Hurl about this just last week. Do I actually feel like I'm in the Subbuteo community? I would have to say my answer would be no.
Why is that?
Because I think my job is the chronicler of the Subbuteo community. I'm not a serious player. I'm not a serious painter. I don't build stadiums. I don't collect. But I'm intrigued by the subculture and I'm intrigued by the people that are in it. And if nobody else wants to tell your stories, then I'll take that job on.
Yeah.
You know, and that you know, like those old Bede, who wrote the Chronicles of the old Chronicles. That's kind of how I feel I am.
But is that not?
Or Homer.
Is that not a bit of? Are you saying there's a bit of snobbery around Subbuteo that you're not made to feel welcome?
No, I've always been made to feel welcome. It's just that maybe I don't feel like I'm as serious about it as the other people. So therefore, it's probably me excluding myself from the Subbuteo
Do you
community.
mean serious about playing?
Well, playing or collecting. When I talk to collectors, and I mention what I've got, they're never funny about it. There's no looking down their nose, but I can tell that what I've got is bog standard. Yeah, it's the teams that everyone had growing up, and I don't know.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
But what about?
And they played with the same teams that I played with as kids. But what I'm finding with a lot of collectors is what gets them into collecting teams is they love football kits.
Right.
It's that allows them that crossover with association football.
Well, we're not really into collectors.
I know that, yeah. But you have collected in the past, I know that.
I collected a bit, and then it just becomes like if you don't have somewhere to display it, then there's no point in fucking.
No, all the collectors
just
I
goes up
know.
into the attic and
I never collected anything. I just had teams.
Yeah, well, that was the same with me. Nobody collected but people played.
And even I never painted, only for my own teams. And if I had a thought Subbuteo still existed, all them years I didn't play, I would have just been playing.
Yeah.
If there were people to play with, I'd have been playing with them if I had knew they were there.
We finally fulfilled one of your massive things. That you always make these statements on the show that you're going to give somebody something. And way back you told Derry you were going to give him a Scotland team.
And what just happened?
And what just happened?
And they are fabulous.
Right.
In fact, I won a match with them, and
that's
I never
what
win matches.
That's what I was going to say. You
in
don't.
the shed with a brand new team.
You say you're not a
2-1.
serious player, but we've just watched you beat. Well, I don't want to give the result.
Don't give away the results for the highlights.
But we have just watched you playing an Irish international,
an
World Cup
international
superstar,
sports, a professional international sports.
and you went toe to toe. So I would consider yourself a decent player. I wouldn't put yourself down.
Well, you're very down on yourself before you came in.
Oh.
I'm not great, I'm not this. But
Well-
you were quite competent around that pitch.
Well, a bit like what you said in your interview with Trailblazer, Martin. Subbuteo has always been in my life. I've never stopped playing it. It's only recently I've got into the flat. Only since sort of 2010 we discovered the flatter bases
Right.
to play. But I would periodically take it out. I mean, a couple of years gap, but it was always there. I mean, I was playing. I was organising tournaments for the Bank of Scotland. I worked at in 1990 for the World Cup, and it was all wobbly bases and one pitch that was hanging off the edge of a dining table
That wasn't even
because
big enough.
the touch line was just.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you'd have to have your player levitating to take throw-ins.
Throw in the
So
corners.
it's always been part of my life. I've always flicked. Solo play. I've done a lot of solo play.
I'm not doing it.
But
Anyway.
solo play, or as Simon Stewart calls it, training.
Training, yeah.
And
But you didn't keep a log and results.
No,
You didn't put
I
yourself
didn't.
top of the table and give yourself
No.
a trophy at the end.
no, I didn't do anything like that. Although people who follow me on Twitter will be aware that over one winter.
He did. He fucking jumped in. I remember
Oh,
that.
no.
I remember
Although
that.
one
No.
winter I did play the Comrades Cup.
Ah,
Oh, the Comrades Cup.
Yeah.
Nah, you're not getting away with it. You're not getting away with it just because it's the Comrades Cup. I'm
did you
sorry.
win it?
No, it was won by IFC Magdeburg.
Did he make up his score?
They were an East German team. They
How many
beat-
teams is
There was 32 teams.
Fuck off.
Knockout, home and away.
No, there wasn't.
Home and
No,
away.
there wasn't. Home and away. What did you get?
I got 3. Ah, shit, one. I got 3.
No.
And then
Wait,
people
you
ask
get
me why I
Oh,
get
for
fucking
you'll never believe this. I got 3.
top scorer. Not he's on 10 goals.
Oh, I scored 4. What did you? Fuck,
Listen,
I was
you-
having a good day and I scored 15.
Here we go. So those are there. And is it? I'm not go forward, is it? And this side. Well, I think I'll get no smoking around the table, please. You know the crack. Okay. Right. So, 3, 2, 1. Where are they? Right. There we go. I get a block? No, you don't get any blocks. Solo Subbuteo. Fucking stupid. Right, hang on. Oh. Goalkeeper. Can I use a goalkeeper? Can you use a goalkeeper? No goalkeepers. This is fucking stupid, right? What about that back here? This is fucking. Hey, fucking shite. Stick it up your fucking hole. Rough game.
Right. Breathe.
Maybe the die-hard solo player just has more scruples than your average man.
Well, I would cheat like fuck.
Well, I didn't cheat. I did, if I cheated, Dynamo Dresden would have won. They got knocked out in the
Celtic won the
quarters.
Champions League, and FA Cup, and everything. Every trophy Celtic won. And Rangers were relegated.
No. Celtic didn't get to play Comrades
I
Cup. They
think
weren't
that-
left wing enough for me.
Whatever floats your boat.
Right, that's a good time to go to What's in Your Box. We're going to have a wee look at Derek's What's in Your Box. So
Here's
here
your
is
box,
this
eh?
week's What's in Your Box.
Here's-
Show you in the box. Who's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Okay, I'm inside my man space and I'm here for my What's in the Box segment of the show. Last time I was on this show, back in Series 1 about 2 years ago, I didn't actually have a box because I wasn't playing then, but since then, as a result of the prompting by Lawrence and Martin, I have dabbled in clubs, and you can see in the top of the box stickers of Wolverhampton. I was there for a while. Leicester Foxes, I was given that sticker when I went to a collector's fair researching the book, and of course Derry City Table Football Club, everyone's favourite second club, Derry City only. Yeah, got that on my recent trip to Derry to interview the boys. Around the outside of the box is basically stickers from a German football magazine called Halbwehr, which I occasionally write for. Got an article coming up in the next issue, incidentally. So let's go inside my box and let's see what's there. Now, I've customised this box by hacking up the inside of an old Subbuteo box set. Collectors would probably have an instant fit at me saying that, because they'll probably say that I could have sold that box to somebody who could then make up a box set, but hey, I needed to customise my box. Just an old shoe box, really. Polish, I don't go for any of that professional wobbly hobby stuff. The creamy white stuff, it looks a bit suspicious, so I'll stick with Asda's multi-surface polish and a good old duster. Seems to work for me, or rather doesn't seem to work for me. Makes no difference to my game anyway. Inside, I've got my goalkeeper. Now, Martin was really impressed by this goalkeeper when I was over in Derry, and he's looking to buy one. So if anyone can help source him one, I'm not sure if Little Plastic Men still do them, but if anybody can get a hold of one for him, I'm sure he'd be really, really grateful. Right, well, in this Tupperware box used to be the team that I played with. It's a self-paint based on a t-shirt I bought from Matalan, and that's why I call them Matalan United FC, Matalan FC. Self-painted, kind of a nod to the Bishop Auckland kit, one I've always liked. But that's since been replaced in my affections by a very, very kind gift given to me at the weekend by Martin. It's a beautifully hand-painted Scotland side. And I played with that, and I thought I played quite well with that in the shed, so that's going to be my team of choice for the foreseeable future. That's, I think, on CLR Dynamics. I think that's what Martin said. Good enough for me. And whereas the Matalan FC, they're on iStorm bases, I think. iStorm. Not sure. Lawrence is the expert on that, he said. I've also got some balls for playing with. I've got a traditional ball, very, very small one. A Tango from the 80s. A Dave Thornley Adidas Durlast for using on the winter pitch. And a Jabulani, which I bought for my son back when we started playing around the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. And another thing is my lucky mascot, made for me by Andre Moura, the hybrid man. It's a figure of me interviewing Martin Ogg for my podcast. Martin Ogg's wearing his Derry City training top. And that is my What's in the Box.
Nice box, Derek, but you've brought a little box with you this week for the weekend, and it's quite fancy. I mean, there's boxes, there's bad boy boxes, there's fucking Subbuteo word boxes, but this is a Tupperware box.
Well, can I say it's because of Ryanair? Weight restrictions.
We're not allowed to sponsor.
We're not sponsored
no paid
by
promotion. No paid promotions.
What about this is the most impressive thing?
This man has had
the history of Subbuteo.
2 spunk stains on his fucking trousers because of this thing.
And you got the gush.
You got the gush? What do you mean you near got the gush?
Metal. Look at the fucking balance in this for a goalkeeper.
Apparently LPM 20 quid.
My fucking arse. This is silver for a start.
I'd be taking that down to the pawn shop.
The weight in this handle.
Well, when I say silver, it's 925 sterling silver.
If anybody can identify this and where you get them, answers in a postcard, please.
Well, he thinks it's LPM, so.
And then if you were away foreign and you don't do Ballabry boys,
that's a truncheon.
You just
It's an absolute
turn it
truncheon.
on your hand. Say you're in Japan. Well,
there was boys bossing boys' faces in Japan.
There was a rock. You pull that boy at the back line,
But you'd have to watch.
Enter the Dragon.
The person might be martial arts trained. Being Japan, so you have to watch
I can
yourself.
understand that, but this is why you spend half an hour on the table.
Every Japanese person a black belt.
No racism in Subbuteo.
Right. Before we get off track here, we're going to have this week's goal of the week, and we're going to ask Derek to pick goal of the week. But before, here is this week's goals of the week.
Oh, that was so good. As well. Large stream as well. Oh mate, I'm actually sad.
Oh, wait! Oh, fucking wait!
You know what? I've only had 2 shots on target all year.
Mr. Eyre, in your professional subjective opinion, could you please pick this week's goal of the week?
And, sorry, you have to tell us why it's goal of the week.
Right, I'd have to go for goal number 3.
Oh, if I had all those English fucking masters goals.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, tell us why it's goal of the week, apart from the fact that it's yourself and it was against Oshin. And it was, I mean, and it was in the shed.
It's not English for a start.
That's good. It's a
Which,
good start.
being a Scot, is a winner.
It's important. It's important.
And for the first time,
Watson's trees are his own.
actually moved with a bit of flourish. Normally, I'm very pedestrian, but I thought I got the angle right. And I think it's the best. In fact,
Against an international sports.
the reason I would say it's the best goal is because it's one of the best goals I've scored all year. In fact, it's one of the only goals I've scored all year.
We've all been through droughts. I went through a long drought, but came out the other side. Scored against Oshin as well, I think, by the end of the drought. But,
Yeah.
We all have our droughts. So, well, congratulations, Derek. Goal of the week.
Thank you.
Goal of the month. Goal of the week.
Goal of the week.
Sorry, goal of the month.
Goal of the week.
English ESA.
Goal of the week. Well, that's Stephen Nobody's toes.
Right, well, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come all the way to Northern Ireland. I'm not editing that. It's been a pleasure to have you over here. So
It's been an absolute. It's really been the highlight of my research so far. It's been brilliant.
fantastic.
And honestly, people are going to have to go a long, long way to make it more fun than I've had over the last 2 years.
I want to read that in the book.
So the book will be out next year. We'll promote it on the show.
Okay.
We'll put links up when it's available to buy. If you don't fucking buy it, I'll send Trailblazer around it. He'll bust a few noses. Right, Derek, it's been an absolute pleasure. We're not actually going to do any more on the show. We're going to wrap it up because we don't really have...
Highlights for
sorry,
highlights.
Derek, you stay there a second because we're going to have some highlights, and it's going to be the match in the shed. Check us out: Derek Earl versus the Irish superstar.
Who's hot? Who's
Oshin.
not? Mr. Oshin Moore.
Oshin Moore. Kill. Oshin killed no.
Oshin Moore. That's his slave name.
Derek.
There's a boat right as his father and his grand. I'm working in a boat, you're building on the river Thames. One day Chip was hard at work, the devil appeared from hell. He had a roll of copper and a bucket full of nails. The devil said, and the Chip, take his nails and copper roll, but you also have to take this rod and I will take your soul. Chip despised the rat and the rats squealed and hissed, but the bucket of nails and copper was too much to resist. Set to work, he'd get rid of the rat, and there wouldn't be a problem with the step to turn it back. But the devil wouldn't die, no matter how hard he tried. The rat attacked the boat right and he beat him in the eye. It seemed to set the river on smell and the scent and smell. They followed Chip around and made his life a living hell. He slowly lost his mind, he lost his family, he lost his job and had to join the King's Navy. A bit, a yard repaired the ship. A safety net, my master, and I'll get you Chip. A landman goes a bit, a yard repaired the ship. kept the ship, and they bit him and they tortured him until he finally flipped. He slammed to the captain to turn around his rig, but Captain spied his madness and they chucked him in the brig. The devil had his man, he knew just what to do. He'd command the rats into the bank stick true. The water rushed in and the ship went down. She was smashed upon the rocks on which the rats danced around. A lemon grows a pip, a yard before the ship. A Satan is my master, I will get you chip. A lemon grows a pip, a yard before the ship. A Satan is my master, I will get you chip. A lemon grows a pip, a yard before the ship. A Satan is my master, I will get you chip. A lemon grows a pip, a yard before the ship. A Satan is my master. I got you, chip.
Eric, I'm just absolutely delighted for you. Come all this way, and for someone to gift you, I mean, for you to beat somebody in your first game in the shed. It's an absolute pleasure. And extended highlights as well, because the game's so good. Massive 2-1 result against one of the best players in the shed today.
I was pleased. Although, I might have been a Freudian slip.
Nah, get you back down to Wolverhampton, give them boys a fucking bloody nose, as Simon Stewart would say. Right, we're gonna say goodbye there. It's been an absolute pleasure to have this man in the shed. It's an absolute pleasure to be back in the shed. Maybe you could do this more often.
We'll see what happens.
We haven't done this since lockdown.
See what happens. Maybe Ashton will come back for an interview.
Maybe.
Tell us what he's been up to.
Who's hot and who's not?
Tells who's hot.
Used to be hot. Now he's not. Anyway, folks, as we used to always like to say, keep on flicking.
Keep on flicking.
Keep on flicking, Derry.